Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to get into game number 3, the decider, to tell us who will be top of the table between Legacy and Direwolves.
I rushed putting my headset on and I completely dropped the ball, Fisher. I'm so sorry. That's an embarrassing one. But yeah, game 3. I completely did not hear what you said because you didn't have you in my ears. And it's still really uncomfortable, but I'm going to try not touching it.
The main question, though, Spawn, is what do you think of Teemo? They've had some harsh words about the little critter.
I mean, Jensen played it a couple of years. No, High played it. Someone played it on Cloud9 to beat TSM a couple of years ago. I thought that was hilarious.
Last time I saw it play was when TSM picked it up in their throwaway game at Worlds or something silly.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
Thanks to Reginald.
Yeah. No, so what I was going to say is when it had interactions with Rylai's and Leandris, it was actually strong for a little bit. It saw a brief moment of pro play. I think that, sweepers make it less good because now you just walk around with a sweeper on and clear out all these mushrooms. Junglers pick that up at level 9 generally. Yep. And he is pretty easy to gank. He's very annoying if you don't play coordinated play. I will say that. Blind is one of those leftover... it's like silence. Yeah. I just feel like it shouldn't be in the game. I hate blind so much.
The most Teemo has ever played competitively was in the GPL, where they played it as an 80 carry. That was a very
Why would you play
dark
Teemo
time.
80 carry?
I don't know. They built AP on him.
I was about to say,
they also played
he's not
Lulu
an 80 carry. That's good.
in the bottom lane. But
hey,
they also played
we had
Lulu.
the greatest Lulu of all time, like on-hit Lulu player ever. Heavens. Heaven's Curse was legitimately the on-hit Lulu god. No one comes close to Heavens from Oath.
I mean, we've seen Lulu played in the bottom lane a few times internationally.
Oh, no, Heavens was a mid laner, but he used to play on-hit.
Oh, my goodness. That's okay. Never mind.
Yeah, no, trust me. You
away
do not want to run into him.
My goodness. Well, we're into Champions League for game number 3. The deciding match between Legacy as well as Direwolves. Although Legacy are technically top of the table after their victory against Abyss, Direwolves do have a game in hand. And if it was all even, they'd be even on the ladder at the moment. This will separate the teams by 1 single point and the head-to-head.
And this is a big game because both teams have won their match pretty convincingly, Fish.
Yep.
And you can see not all that much changing right now. Similar bans coming out from both teams, but it is going to be the Zac, which leaves open, I can't remember.
Caitlyn was left open, but not first picked by Legacy. Direwolves did pick it as their first pick, second rotation, but they did not get Braum last time round. This shuts down both the Gragas pick as well as a pick for Cupcake. And they say, you know what? If you're not going to pick Caitlyn, let's see if you pick it second rotation.
I mean, maybe they're just looking for the Tristana pick again. They don't really care about the Caitlyn at all. Legacy, of course.
There it is. But they're not going to get the Braum lane, so not as much kill threat. And that's a third rotation Orianna pick for Legacy?
I mean, it makes sense. If that is what Claire is comfortable on, we've seen that when he is comfortable, he plays better League of Legends, Fish. Pick it up for him, allow him to take a favorable matchup into that mid lane, because he was able to pressure very well game 1, burning the Shockwave to chunk out Fantix.
I mean, it's one of the few champions that you can send in blind to the mid lane. There's very few hard counters.
If Fantix is really confident, he can pick Cassidy right now.
Yeah, and I think they should. But let's see if they do end up picking up here, and that's what he does.
Oh, I love it when that happens.
My goodness, Fantix, a confident man, and he probably looks like the best Cassidy on the server at the moment.
So now Legacy probably raced to ban away 80 carries. I mean, Kate, Xayah, probably the 2 most noticeable ones.
Did they even take away
Xayah's already gone. So yeah, Kate and name another 80 carry for me.
Ashe,
Varus. Yeah, actually, there's heaps left. Maybe they don't.
There's a lot left, but King has looked very shaky on utility carries in Split 2. Looked fine on them in Split 1.
Yeah, Split 1 he looked real good, which is why it's confusing, right?
Yep. But Sliver is banned away. You have to expect the Caitlyn to follow. Gragas banned out by Direwolves, despite the fact that they've picked up Braum.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, maybe don't like the top lane matchup that allows doesn't allow Chippies to run away with the game.
I wonder if they throw a support ban Cupcake's way, because they've already taken away the Braum.
Yeah, I don't feel like you really need to.
No Thresh here. Alistar, Tahm Kench still available. That's a Jace ban from the Direwolves.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, top lane Tally is a pretty good Jace player.
Final ban from Legacy is Camille. Strange one. Direwolves can pick up Jax here if they're confident with Chippies and Fantix in the split push, because that's Gragas and Camille taken away.
Yep.
But
still they take Gnar, who Chippies had a really good Gnar game last game. Was at team fights when he needed to be at team fights, Fish, and was split pushing when he needed to split push. So certainly hats off to him for that performance. Jarvan top. They've got so many ball delivery systems.
Ooh. Bardo's been locked in as well for Legacy. So Tristana, Bard, bottom lane. Now the AD carry for Direwolves.
Bold pick.
I mean, they just pick Caitlyn here, don't they? Caitlyn's been left for final pick.
I mean, you don't have to pick Caitlyn. You can. She's definitely... I mean, you can go Varus here as well and have very good pressure.
But no, they go for the lane bully.
Not all that much. I mean, Shern has initiation, so you don't really need all that much more.
But still, that's so strange. Caitlyn is the final pick, went through 2 ban phases, and it's something that we see very commonly. First picked in the OPL. She had a very long
Coach
undefeated
Tish isn't going to be happy. He's still a big proponent about the Caitlyn. And we've seen Tristana, become a little bit more popular than Caitlyn. Yeah. But Caitlyn's setup for siege and late game damage is still unsurpassed. I mean, Headshot's ability to shred armor now makes her ridiculous fish. Yep. Absolutely ridiculous.
It certainly does. And you have to think now, Legacy, they would have been up against a very poke-heavy lane, but with the Bard Tristana against a Braum, we've already seen Bard picked into Braum quite a few times, and it does all right.
I mean, if you get ahead on the Braum, though, you're just unkillable. I mean, you absolutely don't care. I mean, sure, you get meat slap, things like that, but he blocks out the stun, is a pretty good roamer as well, and should be able to keep King nice and safe as he farms up into this mid-game.
And we've seen Braum rising in popularity in the LPL as well, and the way that a lot of analysts have justified it is that you have to be creative with the Magical Journey as well as the Tempered Fate. So let's see if Cupcake can do that, because in the lane itself, he's not as big as a bully as he used to be.
That's the big thing, right? You need to be a good outer lane Bard now. And it's difficult because you ever get caught, he's a squishy guy, and he gets popped like instantly. I mean, if ever Fire Fantix finds him at the same time, he doesn't time that roam correctly, he's definitely going to die. So in the past, Cupcake has been able to make this work, but you need to be on point with your Magical Journeys, need to be on point with the ults. I mean, it didn't work against Gigabyte Marines fish, but not much else did unless your name was Rampage at Rift Rivals. I think that, Rosie also had a pretty good Bard game last week, so it's becoming more viable. I still, by the way, this is me being nice, I still hate the pick, but it is becoming more viable.
Not to be mean to Cupcake, but he did miss a stationary turret with Tempered Fate in their match against Gigabyte Marines.
Come on. How... Not to be mean, let me roast a guy that can't defend himself. That was a high-pressure game that they were definitely losing already fit.
Since they came back, he's been a lot better.
My God, man.
And he
has a family.
He has
all the New Zealanders out there, tweet at him.
No, don't do that.
Maxi.
Please no.
And roast this man. Do not let the pride of New Zealand cop flack from a failed Singaporean pro player.
I was never a pro player.
Semi-pro player.
I wish I was a pro player. I wish I had that good mechanics.
I've seen you play, mate. You got pretty decent mechanics. If you actually played this game and not the other PUBG one, you would be all right. You were up to Master nearly.
No, I was 1 game away from Master. And
that's what I said, up to Master nearly. You can't
33 games straight, Spawn.
You can't
beat that loss free.
You can't beat... I'm on 7.
You're on 7. Get the 33 and then tell me you're going to keep playing League of Legends.
Mate, trust me, I'm pretty damn close. But into this game, standard starts from everyone. Jungler's going to start. Looks like Maokai on a Raptor pit, and maybe Sedge on a red buff as she has, or maybe she'll go towards the Raptors herself.
Yep, seems like she'll get a leash from Chippies here. Tally looking like he wants to try and play spoiler.
Has he not taken the brush? What's the brush one called? Is that when you step into a brush and...
I can't remember.
Something gift. Greenfather's Gift?
Greenfather's Gift. Yeah. It's named after Ivan.
Hasn't taken Greenfather's Gift. That's strange. I find Greenfather's Gift actually increases your jungle clear speed incredibly well.
That's % health damage, which is nice to kick camps off.
Yep.
And we see a lot of aggressive junglers take it to maximize their gank damage, but passive junglers not so much.
I mean, but what else do you take? Like, that's in Bandit and the other one that gives you health and mana back when you kill someone. So
Dangerous Game.
Dangerous Game. I don't think Dangerous Game or Bandit have more value than the Gift.
Dangerous Game is nice in certain champions, but not picked up as often anymore. Very curious choice of masteries, but it seems to work out for him. Cupcake and Lost do rush to level 2, hit it first, clear the same mid lane.
Ever watch Freaks? Oh, now we're going to get real deep into like theory crafting, but this is my territory, fish, so you have to listen to it for a bit. Did you ever watch Freaks' video on why he thought Bandit was better than Dangerous Game?
I did. It was fun.
Because obviously potions, 50 gold each. Bandit, you auto-attack people 5, 10 times. Get yourself a free potion. Dangerous Game, at most points of the game, are not... like, you can't pick when it kicks in, and it's not going to give you all that much more than a potion will. So Bandit is mathematically a better choice.
We have a tweet coming for Egypt. Sejuani Cass is the Vlad Nunu of 2017. That's Spawn. What does that mean?
You don't want to know what that means.
I'm a bit scared about that. But in similar thought about that, before the Masteries came out, when I was learning to play on my team, a guy named CF Proven, who was like a challenger ranked top 10 Tryndamere mid lane only player, used to talk to me about trades with that same logic. But speaking of trades, Shippy's going to get caught out by a lot of saplings here.
Just only one.
But yeah, he used to say, if you're going for a trade and if you're going for a last hit and you're going to take more than 150 hit points of damage, it's not worth it because that's a potion gone.
Yep, that is exactly how you should think about trading. And the way Fantix would be thinking about trading is if I can get Claire to use all of his mana, I can stay in this lane forever. So I'm going to use my health bar as a resource. I've got refillable potions, so they're not going to cost me any more as the game progresses. And as long as he's using abilities and not auto-attacking me, I am very happy here, Fish.
And Fantix does have a deceptively bigger health bar than what it seems to be, especially from the spell shoot he gets from Q, as well as this passive negating magic damage, which Orianna has a lot of. But that's chunked down quite a bit. No potions left for the Kassadin. Does have teleport to get back into this lane, which is always frustrating to deal with if you're Orianna. Clay even burning through his potion here. He wants to stay here for the long haul.
Yeah, he certainly does. I mean, and now he steps forward and he does shove him out. So going to cost Fantix at least one creep. Fantix has teleport to get back in here. He's down 8 CS. Generally, if you stay within touching distance as the Kassadin, you're very happy. Shone kind of gives away his location there by hitting the plant.
Well, Fantix will be in a very comfortable spot now, even using the Q to trade aggressively there. Picked up a Ruby and Sapphire Crystal. He's returned to base.
750 gold. As he didn't pick up a control ward, I assume he had that exactly. Otherwise, he probably would have gone blasting one Fish.
Yeah, and junglers trading signs of the map at the moment.
Yep.
Raptors picked up by Sedge, bottom side of the jungle. Raptors picked up by Maokai. He's going back to base. Claire looks like he wants to go back to. He's on top of a ward, and Fantix spots him out. Cancels the recall.
He's Deathfire as well. So yep, still continuing the old, just continually poke. He definitely doesn't need help with burst damage late game. He just needs help through the early game on Kassadin. Like the Deathfire touch mastery.
Fantix holding this lane so well. He is down CS, but you expect that in any lane matchup almost. But that will slowly get back to normal later on.
So he's not even down that much. He's down like 4 CS. And then you have to ask yourself, how much better is Kassadin late game than Orianna? Like, is he 1,000 gold, 2,000 gold? I mean, he's one of the best scaling late game champions we have in League of Legends. And he can split push, as you said, and he has a teleport. Orianna, of course, if she hits a shockwave, probably the best mid laner in the world. So both of them certainly have merit, Fish. And we'll see which one ends up coming out ahead in this mid lane matchup.
Let's see, because Fantix doing well now. We also know he's more than happy to team fight on the Kassadin.
Yeah.
But this game is looking a lot like the last one, where it's just very even. However, there's not as big of dominant lanes in favor of the Direwolves.
This time, it's actually going to be Tally that's ahead of Chippies on the Jarvan, doing a very good job.
It's Jarvan into Gnar as well. You'd have to expect Tally would be playing a bit more aggressive into this matchup to try and make sure that it's equal.
Bit of a gank squad coming out here. Fantix going to potentially be spotted, although we saw a couple of members here.
A bit late as well. Level 6 has been picked up by Kassadin. Rift Wall keeps him very safe.
Shern's also beaten Carbon to level 6 again, Fish. So jungling very well. I know that Juve's touched on it briefly. Being caught out, however.
Oh, stun comes out, he takes it.
That's a tilt. When you do all the hard work on a tank jungle, you do not want your camps pilfered away from you.
Yeah, but still a level down, as you mentioned. 14 CS behind Shernfire. Both of them have the Balmy Cinder. An extra machete has been picked up by Shernfire. And that should not matter too much. And they'll just go back to clearing out camps. Bottom lane, very even between King and as well as Lost.
Yep. And this was a lane that was an absolute washing game, number 1. However, this time, with the Bard and the Tristana, you should have a pretty good level 6. Caitlyn's 6 spike is not great. And again, Shern's found him on his buff.
Revenge of the jungler here. Carbon loses his red buff, no smite available, and Shernfire just smacks him over and over again. Throws out the ultimate. Is that going to be a solo kill? It is! First blood picked up by Shernfire.
And you can see that because Destiny went through that tri-brush, the bottom lane couldn't actually rotate. So Carbon, so frustrated because all of a sudden, Shern is able to walk in on what is a Kassadin mid lane that should be underneath his turret, as well as a duo lane that with a Bard, you should be able to push out. And I don't understand. That must be the most frustrating feeling in the world.
And is this the right call from Soul Strikes in this draft? Because they showed Orianna early, and Direwolves already had a counter pick on the red side.
I mean, you should at least be able to push up, right? even if you're not going to win the scaling battle, even if, you know, eventually at level 9, you should not be getting like hard zone like this. And you can see that Claire, he's out of this lane now.
Yeah. Level 7 is that breaking point almost for Kassadin here. Claire can't do anything but sit back and wait for the mini wave to crash. Sack a lot of CS, or this happens over and over again. And it just hurts.
Fnatic must think the lane's still a pretty rough lane, because if you think a lane's going to be easy on Kassadin, you stop at 3 points on Null Sphere and you start going towards Force Pulse, which is his E. Does a lot more damage, Fish, a lot more AoE damage. But you can see that he's stuck with the Q max. He's got that all the way up to 4 points. If you get to 4, you may as well go to 5. Exactly right, Wim Donker. I agree. Leave Cupcake alone.
Oh, boy. Turning off my notifications for the rest of the night. Thanks, Spawn.
That's all right, mate. Anytime.
Top side of the map. Chippies has done well to shove this big minion wave into the turret. Tally walks back to lane. Very disciplined play, but loses a 7 minion wave with that kind of minion shoved in.
Cupcake shows mid lane briefly. You can see that Claire actually gets Rift walked on. I thought that he was going to...
That's going to hurt. Fantix is looking to try and jump back in, but King rotates for a cheeky ultimate.
Yeah, I thought Cupcake was going to look for a play. Instead, he just left him some hot cocoa fish. You can see another glass being prepared.
It's just not enough. No! All right, this is brutal.
I don't even understand what that means.
I don't either, but I just know that it's brutal.
What is a chili bin? I think that's an Esky. Do you know what an Esky is?
Yes, I know what an Esky is.
Cool. I was just checking, mate. I'm trying to be inclusive in the OPL. We're a show for everyone.
But this game is slowly slipping out of Legacy's control almost, and we're only 10 minutes in. Direwolves are doing very well. They know that all they have to do is continue laning the way they are, and Kassadin will slowly take over. Chippies, he's doing fine top side. He's going into Mega soon. Tally's got to be incredibly careful. No Flag and Drag available, I believe. Slow does come out from the boulders. Chippies does have Flash, but Flag and Drag gets Tally back to safety. He's got a recall after that, though.
Yeah, I mean, potentially. Doesn't have any potions left available. Instead, just goes for the ward over the wall. You can see that Carbon and Claire are looking to get some semblance of bottom side control. Although now they've got Shern in behind them. Cupcake being chunked.
Journey gets him back to safety. Lost is here to try and defend, but instead, again, they trade wards. Sejuani's making his way down to the bottom lane. Will charge over the wall, gets back to safety. Carbon's still a level behind. That's completed Cinderhawk for Shernfire.
Yeah, and Shern's massive at this point. He's 23 CS up and has to be a lot of the kills. And
900 gold.
Yeah, a lot of the kills. A lot of the gold, I was going to say. He's all of the kills, Jake.
Everywhere else is even except for top lane, which
and look at this. Chippies has just forced him to go back 2 turrets deep, Fish.
Oof, he's a level up too. So slowly Nas taking over. Tally looked like he was doing fine early on, but
Legacy need a force somewhere, because Direwolves are absolutely monstering them. And with that teleport in the top lane, I mean, now how do you...
Oh, they're charging into bottom lane. They do lock down Loss, and they jump on top of Cupcake, taking so much damage. He's going to fall. King picks up that kill nice and easy.
Yeah, really nicely done, actually. We talk about Sejuani. Came into the meta through Ambition, who, of course, is the jungler for Samsung over in the LCK, I believe. And they were playing it with Braum exclusively because of both of the passives. You're able to get the slow from Braum, play that with Sejuani, and then, of course, you get the double stun combo off. And you just can't move after that, Fish. I mean, it is 1-2 good night, as you would like to say.
And I don't know what's going wrong doing the break here for Legacy, because Direwolves showed in Game 2, this is their bread and butter. This is their comfort zone in how they play League of Legends, which is very passive throughout the laning phase because they know they're stronger.
Yeah, and now Shern, I guess Shern's kind of in Carbon's head, right? He's forced him off 2 red buffs. This game, he solo killed him. His lanes aren't collapsing to help, which is when Carbon's at his best, when he can lead the troops. And Shern, more solo carry style on their tank meta, has really taken it to Carbon in the last couple of games.
Chippy still being a nuisance top side of the map, does get the stun against Tally, throws the boulders into him. Tally tries to whack away, will get knocked to the wall, but Bard's coming up. This might be a good turn for Legacy. Good slows from the meat slap, misses out on the stun, and teleports are coming up. Carbon, however, is in the back lines, and he's about to go into mini now. Fantix is here, jumps on top of Cupcake, and there is the double. Zhonya's coming out from Cupcake, gets the stun as well. Fantix might be in some legitimate trouble as Lost Locker jumps his way into the fight. Fantix will fall, does trade 1 for 2, but still big play from Legacy.
Fantastic play from Legacy. We said they had to force somewhere, and they do it in the top lane. Lane swap comes out. They're able to pick up a couple of kills, and they're going to get some good damage down onto this turret.
Ooh.
However, Shern successfully defends, and now King and Destiny, who stayed... Oh, no, it's just King, actually, is going to be able to pick up the first turret of the game.
Yeah, King stays alone bottom lane. That was already really heavily chipped, so despite the fact it was a 2-for-1 trade in Legacy's favor, turret falls first for Direwolves. Let's see if they can force something here. They put the satchel onto the turret. Shernfire walks up aggressively. Good double stun again. But again, they just can't chip away this turret enough.
Yeah, exactly right. The door comes up every time. I mean, Shern going incredibly low, however.
Lost one, so he gets stunned underneath the turret as well as exhausted. Flashes away instantly.
Huh, if Destiny had ulted in there, he would have died.
Did not. But
like 100%, that was a kill.
they were pushing very aggressively there, and Fantix is now rotating up towards
At the
the
same
top
time, I
side
mean, you don't really need to kill someone when you're pushing down another turret in the mid lane. This is going to be a 2-for-1 trade.
Yep, that's a Legacy special. Losing turrets across the map without getting one in return for themselves. They make a big play, but they don't get anything from it.
They don't even get the turret fish. Disaster has struck for Legacy. It's still got half health. I mean, this game now is a 3,000 gold advantage for the Direwolves, only 14 minutes in. Yep. And a lot of that is on the scaling champions, on the Caitlyn, who's just picked up 2 turrets, on Kassadin, who's going towards a Lich Bane already, and is that comfortable in the game, doesn't even feel the need for Azonya's Hourglass.
And what's gone wrong? Because this happens so often for Legacy, where they make a big play, they push for a turret, they get one, but they lose 2. This time, they didn't even get the one.
I mean, you can speculate, right? This is pure speculation, but when Carbon's getting invaded, when Shern is applying pressure to Carbon in a 1v1 matchup, and Carbon can't play confident League of Legends, you have to think that that affects the primary shot caller of the Legacy lineup. I mean, they're definitely a better squad than, you know, if Carbon is unfortunately being, you know, out-pressured on the map, that, you know, they can still win games. But I think that when it's in a fashion where your team can't help you out and, you know, you're losing these objectives, then Carbon would start getting a little bit rattled. And you can see that the shot calling therefore suffers a little bit. And once again, pure speculation. That's just my take on it.
It's happened so many weeks on weeks here for Legacy.
Look at this. Now Chippy's is in here. They're like chucking everything at him. They're like, get out of your jungle. This does not belong to you anymore. Chippy's just ulted it. Did you see that?
Yep.
Chippy's ulted red buff. That's how you send a message.
Shernfire even throwing out his ultimate to try and stop Carbon from recall of all things. Direwolves use this momentum to pick up a Mountain Dragon for themselves. They're happy to sit Fantix top lane in 2-on-1. That's how confident the Direwolves lineup is.
I mean, the reason for that is if you ever misplay, I mean, if Fantix ever catches one of those champions by themselves, they die.
He has been jumped on top side map.
Doesn't look like they're doing that much damage to him, Fish.
Fine.
Not going to lie. They use the exhaust out of Cupcake.
I mean, Tristana does pack a punch early, but a lot of that is magic damage.
Off the satchel. Off even Buster Shot, Rocket Jump. They're all magic damage, actually.
People use the max Rocket Jump on Tristana to try and bop people like Super Mario. There's Fancy, just jumps on his head.
I was a big fan of that, when you could put points into E and W equally and just ignore UQ. that was when Tristana was fun to do.
No, you can only take a few in each and max a Q after.
Yeah.
Sad. But
yeah, generally 3 points into satchel, then max your Q. Biggest steroid in the game.
Teleport coming behind him, and Carbon's thrown out the ultimate. Will it clip him? It does. Locks him down. Lost has jumped into the back lines. Good damage. Will they take down Fantix? They do. They pop him, and the jump comes through to slow down Destiny. Orianna's up here as well. Everyone for Legacy collapses. They make a big play. Now, can they get the objectives for it?
And that's a much better call out of Legacy. You can see that they head towards the top lane turret as a 5-man unit. They're still going to lose pressure elsewhere on Summoner's Rift, but with 2 kills as well as a turret pickup, they should get back in time to defend these.
They might actually collapse onto mid lane, so Direwolves do have to be careful. Good chip damage on mid lane inner. They won't be able to kill it, but it sets it up to be knocked down later on. Now they have to try and rotate back out. They spot out the Jarvan. They know Maokai is coming as well. So they abort their mission and head straight back towards the river. But Chippies,
they get the bottom lane one.
Job well done. Had red buff, enough attack speed, as well as Black Cleaver adding some damage. Enough to kill the turret.
Yeah, people will overlook the fact that red buff, of course, applies and does a little bit of extra damage every time you slap it. So red buff plus attack speed will be able to take that one down nicely.
It did stop the bleeding though. Legacy now 2,000 gold behind Direwolves, which is a reasonable margin in a team fight-based team comp.
Certainly is, and the kills went over onto Lost. And that's, as a Legacy fan, you want to see Lost get some kills, really be able to take over this game on the Tristana. Tristana is such a good hyper carry as the game progresses. As I said already, biggest attack speed steroid in the game. All the crit you can want, massive range, ability to reposition around team fight. However, you just feel that this game is becoming incredibly difficult to navigate, you know, with the likes of Chippy's Gnar, with the likes of Fantix Kassadin starting to ramp up.
Especially with Shonefire picking up that Rift Herald there. He's gone back and got a Warmox armor for himself. And this is someone who normally goes back and picks up Knight's Vow, second item.
Yeah, wants a little bit more of that health, as there is a lot of mixed damage coming out of the Legacy lineup, as we already said. A lot of magic damage coming off, you know, Claire Carbon, as well as, you know, some of Tristana. And then you got the AD, obviously, of Tally and Lost. So you want to be able to pick up just a big health pool.
That's brutal. Tally losing these trades here against Fantix.
I mean, not surprising. He has cloth armor as well as Ninja Tabby and no magic resistance at all. That's a bad lane assignment if I've ever seen one, so they probably need to swap that one around, although very hard to get Orianna into a side lane fish.
Yeah, one of her biggest weaknesses, which is, again, strange to see that Legacy have picked it up first draft rotation.
Yeah, they blinded it as well, especially given the propensity for Fantix to play Kassadin into these majors. It's something that he is very well known to do. We're able to call it, so Soul Strikes definitely knew that it was a possibility that was coming. I
mean, Maokai is one of the junglers that can punish Kassadin pre-6 because of the point-and-click route. So it was a knockback that comes through with it, but we didn't see anything from Legacy to stop Kassadin from snowballing. And Direwolves are going to get another turret from themselves. This is even without Rift Herald.
Yeah, exactly right. So they're still able to keep the Rift Herald buff. They can use that to break either mid or top lane outer.
Yeah, and a single charge in a wall take it down. But Direwolves are very happy with the lead they have. They're sending Chippy to split push against Jarvan in the bottom lane, and the rest of the Wolfpack taking control of blue side jungle against Legacy.
And of course, they can't see gold. They know roughly how much gold they're up, but more importantly is we have a small engage here, Fish.
Carbon's going to take some damage, but Legacy may look for a fight against this blue buff. Sejuani very squishy without her passive.
One. Here we go.
And the ultimate gets charged up by Carbon. Will lock down a couple members, but he's the next one to fall. Chippies does get a big Gnar into the wall. They lock down Claire. Where is Lost during this time? Finally shows up to a fight, but that's a big mistake. You have to think Surefire takes the magical journey, and now Tally in the backlines. Good Temper Fate will reset the fight for Legacy. Stun doesn't come through, but Lost bops King on the head. Double kill, a triple kill. Is he going to go for more? Tagged up by Boomerang Blade. Legacy are still charging forward for these fights. They've almost equalized gold. They have their eyes set on a Baron buff.
That might be a 20-minute Baron, and all of a sudden, Legacy turned this game on its head. Shern took the magical journey underneath the turret fish for God knows why. And all of a sudden, Lost is able to be unlocked, gets the resets, gets a massive team fight, and Legacy now bounce back in this game.
They're burning through Baron. Will they secure it? They do. Smite comes out. Clean hands from Carbon. And they turn the game around. Equal goal, but Baron buff to work with.
And that is so much math objectives that they're going to be able to take back. Let's take a look at this. They only hit one person with a shockwave. As soon as this comes out, Direwolves are like, let's go. We can team fight this. Teleport comes in. He's Mega Gnar. He is certainly ready to tango. And they force him away from all the major objectives. With the creep wave already there, I thought that was just going to be Rift Herald. But Shern, he goes through the journey. That's a kill for Lost. And then the Tristana. I mean, this is a brave call, given the fact that he got blown up when he jumped in last game. But he jumps onto the 2 carries, grabs himself a triple kill. And that is open season. Now Lost. 5-0-1 is absolutely massive.
They're going to try and stop Rift Herald as well. Rift Herald can't even get a charge off. And it's wasted. They neutralize that.
They had to drop it. It was going to time out. The death timers are getting longer. Shern wasn't in a good position to have a good Herald. But now with Baron buff, and I mean, we already said it, but it's 1 turret to 4 and gold is equal. Legacy should at least grab the 2 outer turrets from this. They should be able to grab mid. They should be able to grab bot. I mean, they might even be able to grab themselves an Infernal Drake and put themselves back in the driver's seat of this series.
I mean, the whole point of split pushing is to take down all the outer turrets. That gives your team a big enough goal lead to work with a split push team comp. Kassadin can split push, but the most they're going to do is shove it into the base, to which Legacy recall and answer.
Yeah, exactly right. With the empowered recall, going to be a much easier job of it, Fish.
Oh, Infernal Dragon as well being started by Legacy. But Direwolves, they should pick a fight here. They're even in gold.
Yeah, and you can see big flank. Tally gets collapsed
on. Mega knockup coming out from Tally. And Temper Fate locks everyone down. Here comes the Cataclysm. They kill King. Fantix is on the back line, so Claire in some trouble. Big shields coming up, and Fantix will fall shortly after. And that's big kills picked up by Legacy.
And another week of Legacy. Awesome team fighting. They did it against the Chiefs. Now they're doing it against the Direwolves. They pick up the gold lead. They grab themselves that Infernal Dragon, and they're going to look to march back down the lanes. The Legacy train is 100% in smooth motion.
Somehow, though, Dai will sneak a cheeky mid lane inner turret for themselves. So gold a little bit in Legacy favor. They do have a bit of Baron to work with, and they're pushing down for bottom lane outer turret to try and take the lead back. My goodness, these Temper Fates from Cupcake have looked on point.
Yeah, they certainly have. Let's take another look at this. 3-man flag and drag. Tempered Fate comes across. It hits King as well as Chippy. The dunk is there. And then Lost. I mean, look at him again, Fit. He's just jumping on people's head. Looks like Super Mario Brothers. In there, picks up a kill with the rocket jump. And this Tristana, double Energizer items, is once again an absolute monster.
It certainly is. And I mean, Lost definitely had to be an ex-professional Super Mario Brothers player. I mean, from the way he's playing Tristana, looks on point. We can see why Legacy now prioritizes this pick over the Caitlyn, over the Kalista and Xayah at times as well.
And you can see that Bard, I mean, what's he got? He's got the ability to drop a cupcake under him.
Hot cocoa on your face, that gives you more attack speed.
Exactly right. Actually goes towards the Ardent Sensor Fishery. Not looking for something like a Mikhail's that would really help out this Tristana. Instead, wants to give him more attack speed. Collapsing on the top lane turret.
Oh my goodness. You know, you throw the hot cocoa at his face, wakes him up, makes him shoot faster. And Lost is chipping away at these turrets.
Yeah, turns the cocoa into a, coffee. Gives him a little bit of that extra
caffeine boost. Woo! And there's the Temper Fate again. Clips King. Maokai Ultimate is running his way. That was how to speed up. Flash forward for Carbon. Locks him down. And Shockwave obliterates him from the fight. Direwolves lose the 80 carry. Shern is forced to flash out of the pit. And they're going to continue pushing for this one. No Baron buff left.
Yeah, Baron buff is gone. That is where the good news ends, however, for the Direwolves. Because the momentum swing in this game has put it well and truly into Legacy's favor. This time, Shockwave only nails one person, but it does not matter as it is King. And one more time, he gets clipped by something with flash available. King does not flash these skill shots, trusts himself to be able to caliber net out, does not get it done. And now they're continuing the fight, Fish.
Churnfire tries to step up, he gets melted. They're forced to charge away. Destiny and Fantix going to hold the fort, but this turret is going to be taken down. Lost, easily able to chip away at that one.
Look at how far away from it the turret Lost hits. I mean, rapid fire cannon, as well as Tristana being level 14. Well and truly towards max range. Probably going to go towards an armor penetration item next. And I don't know if, like, he's positioning so well, Fish, that I don't know how you shut him down now. He's just got too much mobility.
I mean, in the past few games he's played, his fourth item has always been that QSS into Mercurial Scimitar.
Goes it again.
QSS picked up, so trying to be as safe as possible he Lost. Relying on Black Cleaver as well as the Q from Tally almost to shred through armor.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. There's, now the makings of Azonias, there's makings of maybe a Randuin's Omen coming out for Sejuani, potentially Frozen Heart as well. Would make sense in this composition. In fact, I would prefer to see a Frozen Heart, given the fact that he's got such a big health pool. And, Chippy's next item 100% has to be an armor item. But Lost is racing them. He's saying, I can stay ahead of this tempo. I don't need the shred right now. Black Cleaver will be enough.
And again, 3 games in a row, Tally has picked up the Bramble Best very early.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that there's not much healing coming out from the Direwolves, it still negates a lot of healing no matter where it's coming from.
Yeah, it certainly does. It means that if Caitlyn ever puts her first shot, that big heal that's supposed to come out, completely nullified. And right now, if there is a League of Legends player in Oceania that you would put your life on to carry your game, it would 100% be Lost. Big ultimate coming out there, forcing them off another turret, Fish.
Direwolves have to back away. They do get chipped there, and Shockwave blown on the mini. Now Lost jumping forward. What the heck is going on? This is an aggressive Legacy lineup. They take the turret, but they have to run. Fantix is on the top lane inner.
Yeah, exactly right. And that's what it was all about. Fantix was split pushing, so Legacy wanted to make the play. You will be able to pick up this turret with Lich Bane. Does it incredibly quickly, Fish.
Tally got his recall cancelled there, so Legacy will trade 1 for 1, but I think in their current situation, happy, because now, where can Fantix go to split push?
Yeah, exactly right. Now the game becomes incredibly difficult to execute upon, being the 1 versus a 4. And Fantix is still 2 levels away from being, that level 16 monstrous Kassadin. Claire's going towards his Carbon core.
Yeah, they've caught out Carbon.
Nah,
he's a tanky tree. And Baron's coming up in 15 seconds. Fantix has not gone back to shot.
Yeah, I was going to say Claire is nearly at death cap. 3-1-5, has quietly, after what was a pretty shoddy laning phase, Fish, accrued himself a 1,000-ish gold lead over Richard.
It's still a small lead, I should say, top lane and in the jungle, about 400 for both Chippies and Churnfire. But when your 80 carry has 13,000, King is still sitting on 1,100, not even enough to complete his items yet. And Baron has respawned.
Yep.
But Direwolves do have good vision control over the pits.
Exactly right. Mass recalls are coming out. Direwolves have good enough vision to spot that, as you mentioned.
That's
a
scary.
surprising amount of damage.
Yeah, when a big present just runs at you and wants to explode, not a good feeling. But still, finally, Shenfire's picked up his first bits of resistance from the Merc Threads as well as the Warden's Mail complete. Chippy's doing the same, so it'll be much harder. But
interesting.
Lost has adapted. He got a very early Last Whisper, so he's counted out a lot of the armor that's been picked up by Direwolves in the past few minutes.
Yeah, certainly has, of course, until it's upgraded to either the LDR or maybe the Mortal Reminder. Not going to have the maximum armor shred available, but still does a job right now, and they have started up the Baron because Fantic's bottom lane does have TP available.
They do this all the time. They try to burn Fantic's teleport early, and they do. Let's see if they try to collapse. They do throw out the ultimates, and they charge on it, and Tally gets a good flank in the back lines. Does get a ball from Orianna, but so low. It will be Direwolves to get the first kill in the fight, but Fantic has been blown up. That's a lot of their damage, and King gets clipped again. Shockwave doesn't pull him back. Good flash from King, but now there's a big tree on their face, and that's not just Carbon. That's everyone from Legacy. Dropping branches everywhere. Destiny will fall. Loss is unstoppable. And they're marching straight back towards that Baron.
And that's going to be Baron. All of a sudden, Legacy, they take another team fight and they win it. And time again, this team is just able to work as a cohesive unit. They are up 5,000 gold, and they are looking to close out this series.
Direwolves were spitting hot fire in their interviews. They were ready to take this match to Legacy, but they've stood their ground. It almost looked like it was going to be a retreat of game number 2, but force after force after force, and the execution is near flawless for Legacy. They will take down this Baron. They lose a Mountain Dragon for their troubles, but they should be damn happy where they're at.
Yeah, they certainly should be, and the fact that you know that Tally doesn't have the Baron, that doesn't matter because he's going to be grouped up. Big flag and drag, gets the initiation onto King, burns his first escape in this Caliber net, and even though he goes down, trades his life to Fantix. And then King gets nailed again, doesn't flash out of it, has to flash the Shockwave. That means Carbon can just flash on him, bring him back into the team, and I mean, Lost should take a bow after this. His mechanics in these team fights, his positioning, his ability to go aggressive when he has to, has been absolutely flawless.
He's been a big pickup from Legacy since the last few splits, looking amazing on the lineup, synergizing with Cupcake so well. It's an ardent sense of Mikhail's Bard. You can't get more creative than that on the pick that he's got for himself, and he's winning fights for Legacy.
And he was the Chiefs' Black 80 carry. People had big hopes for him as Carbon, maybe a little bit caught out, will back away.
He's all right for now. Chippy's just chipping away at the armor of Carbon with that Black Cleaver, shredding through that. Shenfire looking to try and force, but a good Bard Q comes out and stops Chippies from jumping any further forward.
I mean, look at the Caitlyn trap set up, so it is very hard to approach the turret. They're getting even further push forward.
The cannon minion though. Oh, Chippies! Where did your health bar go? Tally can't come in for the slam. Chippies will escape, but Temper Fate can't clip King again. Throws out the ultimate from Maokai, chases everyone back, but Legacy get an inhibitor for it.
I mean, that's the tankiest member on your team. Goodbye, Chippies. Shern will dive in. Tally being a little bit cute. What I was going to say is that last year, Lost, he was good in the OCS, but didn't look all that impressive in the OPL fish. Look, you know, good.
They look like a solid bottom lane, but not a monstrous. Oh, Carbon, that's a bit deep. Will charge in with Tally. They lock down Shenfire. Damage coming out from Claire, and Lost is in a good, comfortable position. Fantix stunned up by Bard. He's been kept out of this entire fight. Now only Rift walking in after his jungler's dead. Will die as soon as he jumps in. Lost is going to be able to chase down Destiny as well. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3, make it 4, and he's dominating the competition.
And that just might be game. All of a sudden, 5 members left available. Lost is on Chippies.
My goodness, he's not stopping. He's just going shot after shot after shot. Come back here, you stupid dinosaur. Nars him away, but Bard picks up the kill for himself.
And with 4 members dead and 20 seconds, King.
Oh, where did you go? My goodness, this game's absolutely over. Everyone for the Direwolves is dead. Ace picked up by Legacy, and they're marching towards the Nexus. A victory ultimate comes out from Carbon, and they've done it. They stay undefeated in the regular split. They're going to go top of the table, and they have taken down the Direwolves.
I mean, that has to feel good if you were Legacy. Carbon was getting invaded. They lost all of their outer turrets. The game looked like it was gone, Fish. And with good team fighting, good 5v5, Legacy were able to bring that game back from the brink and keep themselves on top of the table.
My goodness, Lost is a man possessed.
He's the best player in the OPL right now. Hands down. Juves is pointing at himself, I don't care. Lost is by far the best player in the OPL right now.
And finally, the Direwolves have been taken down. They talked the talk, they couldn't walk the walk in the series. And they were very confident coming to this one. A lot of people thought this would be a victory to the Direwolves, even if it was a 2-1, but Legacy take them down.
Yeah, and I mean, that was Direwolves' game to lose. They had everything set up. When the map is in that position, you don't even have to 5v5 team fight. They did it because Claire whiffed the shockwave. And, you know, Shern unfortunately ends up underneath the turret, gives 3 kills to Lost, and that starts to snowball. I mean, that game was in the palm of Direwolves' hands. They had the 1-3-1 comp with the scaling on their side, and they didn't have to give anything to Lost. Like, Lost should never have seen a team fight that game, but unfortunately, for the Direwolves, he did, and he absolutely whooped their bum.
Paid off for Legacy as well. It looked like they were in a very uncomfortable territory there, but they forced until they found the breaking point, and they were able to do that against Direwolves, picking up a 2-1 victory, securing their place on the top of the tables. But for now, to break down this day, let's send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Jish, Jubes. Oh, my goodness. Legacy have taken it, which means, Jubes, you get the points for today because you were correct.
600 IQ for a reason. That's all I have to say.
Jish, how does it feel to be outsmarted by Jubes? 600 IQ.
I don't know. I'm used to it by now.
So yeah, let's talk this game, shall we? Much better stuff out of Legacy, despite a very shaky early start to this game. They were able to just team fight, like Spawn said, team fight their way back into the game.
Yeah, no, Direwolves did the same thing they did in Game 2. You know, they just controlled the jungle. They played around like their pressure points and things like that. Shern got his individual lead. He started to have an impact on the map. We saw them trade really well around those early turrets. But yeah, it wasn't enough, I guess, for later stages of the game.
Well, yeah, one thing I think that's really underrated on Legacy is their mid game. Their mid game seems to be like really good. Like they can go down like early game, they can go down 2 to 3, 4K, and they just somehow manage to like just bring the game back from the brink and make a really big power play.
Yeah, all right. Well, standing by right now with the team captain of Legacy Carbon is our on-field reporter, Serianne. So let's throw it to her for the interview.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Carbon after that amazing win over the Direwolves. You're now the only team undefeated in the OPL. Do you feel as though Legacy's performing better this split compared to last split?
That's a tough question. Last split, we actually did the exact same thing. We 2-0'd Chiefs and we 2-1'd Direwolves during the regular season, but we dropped games to Sin. I would say this split is a bit better because we haven't... The reason I say it's tough is because this split, we lost a lot of single games, but won the series.
Yep.
So if you look at our overall win-loss, it's not... I think it's probably worse than last splits because we got more 2-0s. But having the 0 on the series defeats, it feels pretty good.
Game 2 started out pretty evenly in the early game, but then went downhill. Are you able to talk us through what went wrong for you in that game?
I didn't stick to our game plan. I let Shern control bot side river when I probably shouldn't have, and he got a lot of Zach slingshots from the fog. So that was my fault mostly, and but Brandon got punished for it.
Before I let you go and celebrate your win, have you got a message for any of the people or teams that have doubted you?
No, not really. Look, we're going to continue playing our brand of League of Legends. Hopefully that's good enough to win us a grand final. I'm not really too fussed with what the others are doing.
Sounds good, Carbon. Thanks for talking to us, and congratulations again.
Cheers.
We have it from Carbon. No, I don't have a message for the doubters. He's ignoring them, and he said it in the look. If anyone's watching this at home, go get the Direwolves versus Legacy trash talk video. Find that. I don't know if it's on a YouTube, but go find that because pre-game, a lot of trash coming out of both teams. But Carbon said, "Look, I don't care what anyone else says. We're just going to play our game," and that's what he did today, and they took the victory.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely took out the victory. He said he saw them. You know, it's just one more obstacle in the way. He doesn't. If it was a hype match or anything like that. Obviously, he has an opponent every week to verse. But yeah, credit to him. They came in with a game plan. Obviously, he said he mis-executed on in game 2, but he pulled it out in game 3.
If I know Tim Carbon-Wendell, and I know Tim Carbon-Wendell very well, he's saying that on camera, but inside he's just like, yes, boys, come on, yes. He's doing the fist bumps and everything. He's fired up. I know for a fact that this match means a lot to him, and it's not just a match in the road. I think what that is to Carbon is it solidifies the fact that they are genuine grand final contenders, if not favourites, right now for the OPL. Actually, for Worlds.
Yeah, well, wow. Well, I will say as well, 2 other comments. Glasses in the back of the jersey for Carbon. You see that? It was pretty good.
Big fashion statement.
Big fashion statement. Put the glasses, obviously keep an eye on the back of the head. Second thing, does this mean Sin have to be the people to take down Legacy again this split, Jubes? Meet him in the gauntlet?
Look, I'm not looking past the Chiefs. We got the Chiefs to verse, and then when we get past the Chiefs, we'll look on towards Legacy, I guess. But for now, it's just one step at a time for us.
One day at a time. All right. We'll just. Did you write a reply? You want to say anything?
Oh
there?
yeah, one step at a time. We're only looking at Avant right now, so we're not even versing Tubes yet.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday and Sunday play. But Legacy. Juves, I know you were very happy about their early game rotations.
Yeah, so Legacy were proactive. They made a 5-man play top here. Probably it didn't need to be a 5-man play. I think this was like kind of like they felt like they were pressured and behind, and they needed to commit 5 players to this. But this kind of swung the momentum a little bit in their favour. They weren't scared. They pulled the trigger. A lot of teams in this position would not pull this trigger. They ended up getting 2 kills, a tower, and while sure they're losing farm and pressure in the bottom and mid lane, it's not the end of the world. That kind of gets your team's spirits back up, get a few kills, and it's not more or less about the gold swing at that point. I think it's more or less about like, okay, guys, we can win this. Like, we just made a really good play. Like, next time we'll just pull ultimates again.
Yeah, like they're losing them anyway, right? Like, it's not as though they can. If they just sit there, they're going to lose mid and bot, like regardless. So they make like the best of a bad situation, and they force Direwolves to react. Because if they just let Direwolves just play their game, then as Jake mentioned on the cast, they're just going to outscale and outsplit them. So they just force them into fights.
Well, it seemed to me that this was a comp that the Legacy have practiced before, because it seemed like they were using all of their different ults really, really well. But for you, Josh, what was the turning point for this match? Because I feel like there's like one literal click of a mouse on one particular thing that really turned this match for Legacy.
Yeah, I guess it comes a lot down to decision making here. So obviously Chippy's here wants to be splitting. I don't know if he really wants to fight, but Schönfire is forcing the fight by being in this blue invade. And this sort of like Legacy territory, right? They get the big ultimate to slow down the engage. Chippies gets a really good ult there, and then they have to use the tunnel to get out. Schönfire really unfortunately clicks that one, follows through. Lost flashes the wall, gets the kill, gets the reset, jumps over here after the really good ult from Cupcake. Takes down another kill, knocks over Caitlyn over the wall and crits her again.
If Schön doesn't go through the magical journey there, do Direwolves potentially win that?
I mean, yeah, the fight changes a lot, and it's really hard to say. But yeah, you have to assume that if their frontline tank just keeps laying down CC and they don't just take the free death and give like the reset over, that is probably just like a maybe one kill, 2 kill. Not a huge fight or anything, but definitely should go in Direwolves' favor.
Yeah, I don't think Direwolves win that in either way, but I don't think they lose the Baron and pretty much the game from that. Like Kassadin could not follow up the Sedge ult. Kassadin had to flash and rift walk. If your Kassadin has to flash, rift walk to do damage, it's probably a bad fight.
Yeah, so start the fights closer to the carries.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, in terms of Legacy's comp then, I know we were talking about upstairs, just hit all the ults on the same person, Jibs. Was there a particular play that you saw that you thought was spicy and good?
I found one that Direwolves thought they actually caught Tally out.
Yeah.
But the Legacy ultimates, pretty much, this is their 5v5. This is Legacy's composition. They want to 5 versus 5. And look at that. They just chain CC their ultimates perfectly. Maokai ult, Bard ult, Orianna Shockwave. Legacy lost critting more than probably the other AD carry because it's not RNG and it's about how good you are when you crit. Look at
the timing on those ults, right? As soon as the Bard ulti evaporates, the Maokai ult is there to hit them and chain them again. Like that, and that's a timed ult from outside.
And on top of that as well, Cupcake has Q flashed on Bard as well, and he gets like a nutty little stun on the side, and then the RNG, right? I watched him crit like 40 times in a row from Tristana, just in the back line, just doing all the
crit
damage.
items. That's what you do.
The problem with I think Direwolves there is like, I feel like they just have to let that dragon go. Like, there's no need to fight that.
Yeah.
Because Direwolves specifically picked for 1-3-1. They did not pick for team fighting. And as soon as you team fight against that composition, it's just like game over, go next. And unfortunately, there's no next.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
we're out of the best of 3.
Looking at this then, what does this mean for the rest of the split? Obviously, Legacy now, the team to beat. But Direwolves, they were very confident going to this one. And this is probably going to make them angry. And when they play angry, potentially, that's a real threat.
I'm curious as to how the Direwolves bounce back from this, because not to say that I'm not saying they can't. I know I'm confident they will, but it kind of does take like a pretty big mental toll on you losing a game like this.
Actually, Josh, how does a team bounce back from losing against Legacy?
So I think it's definitely in how you view the causes for losing and how you review it as a process. Because obviously you can't win every game, right?
Sure.
And any team who thinks they can is just naive or ignorant to that point. So you just have to look at the mistakes and work out the split, it goes for what, like 10 or 9 weeks or something, plus however long, and like it's a constant, like gradual sort of journey. You
And then once you get there, you've got to go through the gauntlet anyway, so it's all down to that last match anyway.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, let's take a look at the results from today then. AV, too good for Regicide, 2-0. And then Legacy, surprise, 2-1 for some. Not for you, Juves, though, because you picked them to win 2-1 over
600
Direwolves.
IQ.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Abyss will take on TM Gaming. AV will then take on Chiefs. And then Sunday, we're looking forward to Direwolves versus TM and Chiefs versus Sin, the spicy matchup. It's the all-talent desk off. I'll call it now. That's a clunky name. We need to work on that. I'll think of something by Sunday to call it. Oh no!
The best desk in the world is facing each other on Sunday. I'm sorry. I don't want to have to do this. I really enjoy working alongside you.
You're all right.
Wow, all right. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for being on the desk today. I'd like to thank you at home for watching, as well as Sarah Ann for doing all our interviews today. From all of us here at Riot and the OPL, we'd like to thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Chen goes in with a double knock-up. ZZZ is here, gets a knock-up himself, but first blood will be picked up by Triple. Chen goes in, good damage. Ken is going to fall first. May comes back in, he wants this fight. Going to go straight on top of Sybil. ZZZ gets that kill. Series gets a double in the back lines. That's the rock field being thrown down by Triple. Stops ZZZ from dashing anywhere, and AV will get an ace against Regicide.
Yeah.
Shove back from Triple, gets a kill. Chen so low, he's forced to flash out. Fades the next target, though. Exhaust coming through, and there's a big crocodile in the back lines. Cataclysm being popped by ZZC, but it doesn't matter. Series and the backlines, he's going to get 2. Triple's already got 3 for himself, and that's going to be an ace picked up by AV. And it's a one-sided affair in game number 1. ZZC has somehow made his way back into the game, wants to kill Sybil, will get some consolation prize for himself after he escapes the game, but still, AV pick up a very decisive one-sided victory.
Absolute shellacking fit.
Goes toe-to-toe against ZZ,
Don't
but
wanna fight.
you don't want to take the fight against Jax. He just ramps up, flashes on his head, leap strike's going to come up, and first blood's picked up by ZZZ. He's under the turret, blade back in, pops the Cataclysm, but he's going to die straight away. Meanwhile, it's going to be ZZ in the back lines, Triple in trouble, Shutdown comes out from Blinky. He gets a double kill, no ultimate available for him, but Kedu almost falls in the back of that as well. Rift Herald's still hammering away at this turret. Triple Fate goes in, kicks it back in the team. He's played and instantly killed. That's what Regicide needs.
It certainly is. That is a good play out of Fate. I mean,
ZZZ.
put that in the highlight reel. ZZZ behind him.
In the backlines, pull off an Ime here with that flank. Doesn't get the stunt down on Blinky, but it instantly just pops him with the lantern. There you go. Lights out. Good night, AV. Jake gonna try and run away now. He gets popped by Kedu, and that's the fight Regicide needed. Jake jumps in with the charm. Will hit the double backline combo. Jumps out. Lands on ZZZ, who's trying to get kills as well. But already Chencha's gonna fall. Triple will sacrifice his life to pick up 1. But Silver with a big shutdown will avoid quite a bit of damage. Fade, meanwhile, it's the next target. Blinky gets the next one, and only the carry is left up for Regicide.
Yeah.
And AV, after a disaster of an early game, will pick up the victory and finish the series 2-0. For a very aggressive game. Cupcake jumps forward, gets the tag, flashes on him as well. King's going to get locked down. No more flash bevel him. Good exhaust coming out, but that's going to be first blood picked up by Lost. Carbon in some trouble, taking heavy damage. Good smite to keep him alive. Telly jumps in with the body bomb. Chippy's the first to fall. They stun lock Shernfire, but there goes Lost. Looking for Fantix. Splashes on his face for it as well. Good damage coming out from this Estrada. Well and truly accelerated, as that's a double kill for Lost. Tally jumps in, has everyone for the Direwolves around him. Only taking out the support, but sends both Chippies and Fantix back in the team. Shockwave, massive one, but it's already a double kill. But everyone for Direwolves so low. Lost gets a double. Chippies jumps back in. He wants to kite this one out, but can he? Chippies, he cancelled 2 auto attacks. Will finally get the shutdown. They lock down Clan. The package is delivered. He's still alive. Can he get an ultimate off? He can't. Deleted by Chippies, but it will be Fantix and follow shortly after. Lost is left untouched in this team fight. Oh, and they just collapse onto Fantix. They take him down easily. Cupcake's jumping further forward. He's an absolute monster. They've locked down King as well. Double kill picked up by Claire. But the Nexus is under siege. Legacy, since Rift Rivals have looked fantastic coming back from an international event. Lost is charging in towards the fountain. Finally, they'll hit the Nexus, and game 1 of this series goes to Legacy.
Here we go.
Yeah, finally someone's fighting. Claire going to flash away. Good damage on the Fantix, but First Blood's finally been picked up. Carbon throws out the ultimate. Doesn't connect, but Fantix has no way to get out of this one. And Tally gets a kill for himself.
Yeah.
Guns in, flashes forward, gets a root, gets a single kill. Destiny and Fantix now very low, but they kill Lost. Fantix has killed Lost. He's gone for Cupcake as well. Gets a double kill. They're trying to kill Tally on top of that. Red buff is ticking. The Sapling's looking for a touchdown. Gets some damage, not enough. Tally forced to run for the heals. That winner's fight so close from connecting. Big fight for the Wolfpack. They throw red buff at him and they get the kill, but Surefire, can he deliver? Lost picks him up, delivers him to Chippies. Will smack him down for a kill. Fantix gets a big package into the back lines as well. Double kill with the Gnar coming out. Ace picked up by the Direwolves.
And
Surefire's already forcing, pulls back Clear, jumps on by Chippy, so much damage coming out, and Fantix picks up his 8th kill, make it 9 as he gets the double. Gnar into the wall, almost single-handedly kills Lost. King flashes into the back lines, taking turrets, presence, and everything, and he's still going toe-to-toe against the man himself. The boss has been exhausted, and the Nexus will finally fall, bringing this to a 1-1. They take the fight to Legacy. They want to show them who will be top of the table if they can pick up Game 3. Carbon loses his red buff, no smite available, and Surefire just smacks him over and over again. Throws out the ultimate. Is that going to be a solo kill? It is! First Blood picked up by Surefire. Fantix here, jumps on top of Cupcake, and there is the double. Sonya's coming out for Cupcake, gets the stun as well. Fantix might be in some legitimate trouble as Lost Locker jumps his way into the fight. Fantix will fall, does trade 1 for 2, but whereas Lost during this time finally shows up to a fight, but that's a big mistake. You have to think Surefire takes the magical journey, and now Tally in the backlines. Good Temper Fate will reset the fight for Legacy. Stun doesn't come through, but Lost bops King on the head. Double kill, a triple kill. Is he going to go for more? Tagged up by Moonrain Blade. Legacy are still charging forward for these fights. It will be Direwolves to get the first kill of the fight, but Fantix has been blown up. That's a lot of their damage, and King gets clipped again. Shockwave doesn't pull him back. Good flash from King, but now there's a big tree on their face, and that's not just Carbon. That's everyone from Legacy. Dropping branches everywhere. Destiny will fall. Lost is unstoppable.
And with 4 members dead and 20 seconds, King.
Oh, where did you go? My goodness, this game's absolutely over. Everyone for the Direwolves is dead. Ace picked up by Legacy, and they're marching towards the Nexus. A victory ultimate comes out from Carbon, and they've done it. They stay undefeated in the regular split. They're going to go top of the table, and they have taken down the Direwolves.